When Julius Caesar took up his command in Gaul in 58 BCE, few fully understood how profoundly this assignment would transform both his life and the fate of the Roman Republic. To some senators, it was simply a way to send an ambitious man far from Rome. To Caesar, it was a vast stage on which to build an immortal legacy. Gaul was not a single unified nation, but a patchwork of tribes, some Roman allies, some hostile, many shifting their loyalties as circumstances changed. It was a land of dense forests, broad rivers, and fortified hill towns. It was also a land that threatened Rome's northern frontier. Caesar's first major challenge came quickly. The Helvetii, a tribe from what is now Switzerland, sought to migrate westward through Roman territory, bringing hundreds of thousands of people with them. Such a movement risked destabilizing the region and emboldening other tribes. Caesar saw both danger and opportunity. He blocked their path at the Rhone by building fortifications along the riverbanks, then pursued them north when they tried another route. At the Battle of Bibracte, he defeated the Helvetii decisively, forcing the survivors to return to their homeland under Roman terms. This victory was more than a tactical success. It announced to Gaul and to Rome that Caesar was a commander of resolve and precision. He would not merely manage the frontier, he would redefine it. No sooner had the Helvetii been subdued than a new threat emerged. A powerful Germanic leader named Ariovistus had crossed the Rhine, establishing a presence in Gaul and intimidating local tribes. They appealed to Caesar for help. Caesar summoned Ariovistus to negotiate. The German refused. Caesar then marched against him. In the ensuing battle, Caesar's legions, disciplined and relentless, shattered Ariovistus's forces and drove them back across the Rhine. Many Germans were killed. Others drowned in their attempt to escape. By eliminating Ariovistus, Caesar not only secured Gaul from immediate Germanic domination, he also sent a message: Rome would determine the fate of the region. Over the next several years, Caesar engaged in a series of campaigns that brought nearly all of Gaul under Roman control. He defeated the Belgae in the north, a coalition of tribes considered some of the bravest fighters in the region. He fought the Nervii in a brutal engagement where his legions were nearly overwhelmed. In that battle, Caesar personally entered the front lines, seizing a shield and rallying his men. The sight of their commander in the thick of danger reinvigorated the troops. They turned the tide and crushed the Nervii. Events like these forged an unshakable bond between Caesar and his soldiers. They saw in him not a distant aristocrat, but a leader who shared their risks, rewarded their courage, and delivered victory after victory. But Caesar's ambition extended beyond the boundaries of Gaul itself. In 55 BCE, he embarked on a daring symbolic venture, a crossing of the Rhine. Rather than simply using boats, he ordered his engineers to build a wooden bridge across the mighty river. In just 10 days, Roman soldiers constructed a structure spanning its dangerous currents. Caesar led his army across, marched briefly through German territory to demonstrate Roman reach, and then withdrew, dismantling the bridge behind him. The message was unmistakable. No natural barrier could stop Rome or Caesar. That same year, and again in 54 BCE, Caesar launched expeditions across the Channel to Britain. These were not full-scale conquests, but exploratory incursions that tested the island's defenses and opened diplomatic channels. Still, they captured the imagination of Rome. Caesar had gone beyond what most generals dared, touching the very edge of the known world. Back in Gaul, however, trouble was brewing. Roman demands for tribute, the presence of garrisons, and local rivalries stirred resentment. During the winters, when Caesar returned to Cisalpine Gaul and left his legions in scattered quarters, uprisings flared. Some Roman detachments were ambushed and annihilated. Then, in 52 BCE, Gallic resistance found a leader worthy of the challenge. His name was Vercingetorix. A chieftain of the Arverni tribe, Vercingetorix was intelligent, charismatic, and strategically shrewd. He understood that the only way to resist Rome was through unity and scorched earth tactics. He convinced tribes to burn their own towns and fields, denying Caesar food and shelter, and to avoid pitched battles whenever possible. The war turned savage. Caesar marched through a devastated landscape. Supply problems mounted. Every advance was contested by guerrilla attacks and ambushes. One of the grimmest episodes occurred at Avaricum, a well-defended Gallic city. After a difficult siege in harsh weather, Caesar's forces captured it. Almost the entire population was slaughtered. The message was brutal. Resistance would be punished without mercy. Yet Vercingetorix remained at large, his influence growing. The decisive confrontation came at Alesia, a hilltop fortress where Vercingetorix and his forces made their stand. Caesar found himself in an extraordinarily precarious situation. Vercingetorix's army held the fortified heights, and a massive Gallic relief force was gathering outside to break the siege. Caesar's legions were trapped between enemies inside and outside their lines. He responded with one of the most impressive engineering feats of the ancient world. Caesar ordered his men to build not one, but two massive lines of fortification, an inner ring surrounding Alesia, and an outer ring facing the approaching relief army. Ditches, palisades, towers, and traps formed a deadly double wall stretching for dozens of kilometers. When the relief forces finally attacked, the fighting was intense and desperate. At critical moments, Caesar personally rode along the walls, directing reinforcements, choosing where to commit reserves, and encouraging his men. After repeated assaults, the Gallic forces broke. The relief army fled. Vercingetorix, realizing the hopelessness of his position, surrendered himself to Caesar. The image of Vercingetorix laying down his arms before Caesar became a symbol of Rome's triumph over Gaul. By 50 BCE, Caesar had done what no Roman before him had achieved: the effective conquest of nearly all of Gaul. The region would remain part of the Roman world for centuries, its people gradually integrating into the empire. For Caesar personally, the rewards were enormous. He gained immense wealth from spoils and tribute. He commanded the absolute loyalty of hardened, veteran legions. He enjoyed a heroic reputation among the Roman people. But these victories came at a price. His growing power terrified many senators back in Rome. They saw in Caesar not just a successful general, but a potential tyrant. The more he triumphed in Gaul, the more they began to imagine a future in which Caesar might bring his legions home and turn them against his own city. Caesar went to Gaul as a politician with debts and enemies. He would leave Gaul as the most powerful man of his generation, poised to challenge the very system that had created him. End narration.